Dr. Sahu, running one of the largest schools, in East India, how would you approach something like this? How does your school take care of the exposure and experiential learning part for students? And I know you have a large cohort graduating each year, and they get into great universities in the country and outside. How do you do this balance between academic and the non-academic education?
What I feel is what I think in the beginning it was said that if you want to build a nation, put the foundation in the school education and see the school education is done. And if you want to finish a nation, finish school education. I will not tell what India has been doing, but probably a lot is required to be done. Thankfully, I am not in Delhi, so that I am protected from the activism, and we are able to do certain things which our parents there understand because of our serious involvement with the parents. A very nice question was asked by Jadip. How do you balance? I heard here about the exposure and the opportunities. These two things are extremely crucial. How do you expose your students and how you give them the opportunity. I little dwell on this and then possibly tell one or two things that we do. Then possibly after that take some questions if there are. As far as the balance is concerned, we were very strict and very firm from the beginning that 25% of the school time every day we will devote to non-academics. So what we did, 8 hours day boarding school, we kept 1 hour for hobbies or creating clubs. So we have about 30 clubs, and we ensure that every child participates in one of these clubs. So that builds special skills in them, and as was being said here, if certain children have certain special skills, those gives knowledge and they get an exposure in the platform. The other 1 hour every day compulsorily we keep for sports, because we feel sports is integral part of education, and unless a child learns how to win over defeat, and a child doesn't learn that how to fail and then come up in life, I think education will be not complete. So having a balance of these 6 hours of academics and 2 hours of these non-academics, we have been able to balance. And as Jadi was telling, we have every year, say in 12th board, about 650 children appearing, and our school average is 86% and the lowest is 70%. So we have been maintaining that for the last, it's just a 9-year-old school, and we have been maintaining for the last 6-7 years. So we find exposing children into what they love, and once they start loving the school, academics become very easy. So this was as far as the balance is concerned. As far as the exposure is concerned, I'll just tell you two small things that we have done. Of course, many things we do. One was looking at the roots, and the other is international exposure. So what we did, we created groups and sent them to the villages and told our team of students, go and find out the problems, talking to the villagers, talking to the families, and write down all these problems, give it to the village committee or the sarpanch, also give it to the tahsildars, so that they feel that if students can find out these are the problems, probably there will be some recourse of doing that, and this gave them a lot of insight into how privileged they are. So it worked two ways. It gave these children an opportunity to be empathetic, and also gave an opportunity for these officers to understand that these children are coming and finding out these things, so let's do it. And the villagers, of course, got some advantage out of it. So this worked very nicely. As far as giving the international exposure, because unless we give our children some international exposure, take our children to show them what's happening outside, I think I will not comment here on the NCF or comment on whether we do assessment for learning or assessment of learning, but I still feel we need to change a lot as far as our type of assessment that we do in schools, the way we evaluate our children for the higher education, and our children need to know what's happening. You know, there is something beyond just keeping marks. Because if you want to go into a good private university or go into the Ivy League or go into the foreign universities, they will not just look at just your marks or academic scores. They will look at what you have been doing, what's your story, what you want to become in life, how much of social activity, social connect you have, what is the level of your empathy, you know, what is that you are going to contribute back. So these things have to be embedded, and this comes when our children are exposed to outside countries. So what we have done is we have partnered with several schools in several countries, and meticulously we take our children to spend at least 10-15 days in those schools with homestay. So we have worked hard over these last 8 years to see that we have sufficient number of exposure trips where we ensure that it's a homestay so that children learn not just by staying in the hotel in a foreign country, but staying in the house, learning the food habits, culture, the way they are, and their pattern, because they need to, now I think our children need to be truly global, and they need to know what's happening across the globe. The third thing that I would like to tell here is, I think with this change and the development that's taking place in technology, we cannot do away the way we teach or the teaching and learning processes inside the classroom away from technology. At the same time, it will be foolish for anyone to think that we can substitute teachers, because the transaction that happens between a teacher and a student is not just a bit of technology. It's a human connect. And 5,000 years back, that connect was there, and today also that connect is there. So if all of you close your eyes and just think, who was the best teacher, you'll definitely think, find out one teacher of your school who changed your life. So that connect can never go. So now, how do we encash on what has been the tradition of and ethical values of India and embed that with technology, not do the way Kodak probably did. They did not change, and our Remington Rand, they did not change, and such large multinational companies had to close down. So we need to adapt the newer technology. At the same time, do not forget our roots, expose our children into the newer things that's happening across the globe, that's happening in India. My last, rather this is not my suggestion, my request to all the heads who are sitting here, and maybe Univariety can take this. Let's create several platforms for children across India, forget about other countries, across India, to meet together, discuss together, if not compete, learn from each other. We have not created, unfortunately in India, platforms where children can come from various parts of the country, then meet, discuss, and probably evolve themselves as well as evolve ourselves. Thank you.
I know that's a very heartfelt comment, Dr. Sahu, because I have the privilege of knowing his two sons, and I know I've seen their resume. I mean, as they graduated from the school and went to SRCC and now preparing to go abroad to do their MBAs, and their CVs at a school level were far better than a lot of people have in their job life, well into their job. So.
Dr. Vijay Sahu, Founder Chairman, Science National Group. Thank you, Dr. Sahu. Thank you for being here with us. And thank you for taking out your valuable time and joining us. May we request Dr. Deepak D, Associate Professor, Manipal University, to kindly come upon stage and felicitate the national curriculum schools who are recognized as the Future 50 schools shaping success. International School, Bhubaneswar.